So we're live, and
freaking hey, bro.
It's always something, dog. It's always something. You're
technology at its
painting.
finest.
You're painting. You show up
Put this
late.
on me.
You run
wow,
up. You said I'll be here at 4. You show up at 5:45.
what I said.
You know what? I got 7 producers lined up for you. You think you're the only producer?
You know what?
in town?
I'll take my toys and get out of the sandbox. Okay.
What's good,
He's gonna
John?
take his ball and go home.
That's what it sounds like he's saying. I don't give a rat.
Give me all my
What's good, y'all? It's your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love to another edition of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. We got the squad in the building. Yeah. As always, super producer Joel Holt.
What's
and
going on?
running the ones and twos, Mr. Drew Better. You knew better. You do better. Say who better? Nobody, bro. Drew back in the building. How y'all boys feeling, man?
Oh, we're all right, man.
Everybody good?
It's cold.
Man,
it's cold
it is,
at night.
It is cold outside, bro.
It's stupid cold.
It's different. It's let me tell you something. I've been trying to piece together the basement as things are happening, right? And it's a lot when you got a show constantly going on. It's cold down there, dog.
That chill's getting to you.
Bro, I got one of them old school like heaters that look like the old like radiator.
It's working.
It really resonated with me like, oh, this heat's going up. I don't have no ceiling down here, dog. It's just going through the floor.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to invest in a nice new heater that, or I'm going to have to swap out the one in my daughter's room. She may have to take an L.
Oh. Father of the year.
I'm in the running, man. Hey, man, we got a lot to get into on today's show as, listen, there may be a serious decision made in Chiefs Kingdom that may force the Chicago Bears to have to pivot their off-season plans. We got to talk about that. Got to react to the NBA All-Star Game and the NHL All-Star Game. I'm sure y'all didn't tap into the NHL All-Star Game.
I barely get the NBA.
Hey, I'm going to tell you this right now.
I watched it.
Oh, yeah.
It was good, bro.
Oh, my goodness. They may have brought All-Star games back. I've been on a ban all All-Star games forever. That may be the only one worth talking about. And then, of course, ESPN did their bold predictions for 2025. NFL season just ended, and they said, hey, let's get our predictions in for 2025. Some interesting ones, and one that I think really will affect Bears fans' perceptions if it comes true. All that and more today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do.
Shout out to Breeze Nation. I think Crimson was #1 in the chat.
Crimson first in the building. Shout out Crimson.
Noah
Always
P,
pulling up, man.
Relentless Mikey, Bob Chimney, King 9621, Matty Legend, KJ, Chicago Rilla, Travis Kirkland.
Oh, that's the wrong one. Ain't they? I tried to hit a horn at it.
Which horn you want?
Oh, dang it. I'm trying to hype them up.
Baki in the building.
There it is. There. That's fine.
Air horn. It's called air horn. One of the two.
It's not labeled.
No, it's not.
It fell off. It fell off.
So the producer at his
Bulls.
finest.
Somebody said it was 48 degrees. Crimson says 48 degrees out, and it's like that. It was in Seattle, right? That's not bad out there. That's a decent winter.
That's off the ocean, 48 degrees though.
And
Yeah,
it's
but
raining.
we're off a lake and it's freaking
it's
7.
Yeah, but that's off the ocean, 48 degrees. That probably hit a little different.
That's not bad. I mean,
It's not terrible.
It's not bad.
I'd be there with it.
I'd take
I'd be there.
48.
Shout out
Hey.
Shadow Boy. I see you.
Bulls, they said
next week,
snowing in
48.
Memphis.
Ugh.
Dang.
That's gonna
Don't
affect
they
Zach
shut
Edey.
everything down over there.
That's gonna affect Zach Edey's game when he gets back there.
Oh, wait a minute. Should we pull up the Edie meter?
The Edey meter.
Where is it at? I had to update the Edie meter.
The
for
Edie
us.
meter?
It's the other way. It's the other way. Go the other way.
Up,
He'll
up,
find
up.
it eventually.
There it is.
No, man.
it is.
I think that's gonna be. Oh, there we go. The Edey meter right there. He's at about 9.5 right
So
now.
he's right in the middle.
Listen, if he crosses that 10-point threshold, I'm buying a steak. If he stays below it,
Yeah,
Joel's buying a steak. By the way, shout out to Zach Edey for a phenomenal season. At this point, I'm only in it for the steak.
Hey, I thought he could be a nice contributor.
Yeah,
I
he's
didn't
got
think he would
that.
average over 10 points a game. I said, he should average 10 points. I'll pay a steak dinner. I'm like, whatever, fine. I
Yeah,
don't care.
yeah. Oh, now it's whatever fine.
No, I was good. I'm like, yeah,
now
I'm
it's
roll with
whatever
it.
fine.
Yeah.
Let's start it off here, boys, because interesting conversation around the Chicago Bears. And I think what most people have talked about this offseason is Trey Smith. Bears got to get Trey Smith. Probably since week 14. If you're not doing anything, you got to sign Trey Smith. How can you sign anybody else? Your focus is Trey Smith. $25 million to a guard. Trey Smith. Right? And with one decision That could be a major decision, and I believe is a major decision to end one of the careers of the arguably one of the greatest tight ends of all time. I'd say top three, top two, top three greatest tight ends of all time. Probably top two greatest tight ends of all time. If he decides to retire, the Kansas City Chiefs will save $17 million against the cap. That creates a lot of options for the Chiefs. It allows them to do more of it allows them to tag certain players if they want to, allows them to have a lot more cap flexibility if they want to, probably allows them to hold on to Trey Smith if they so choose.
Mm-hmm.
Which I believe would cause the Chicago Bears, because I do believe that the Bears want Trey Smith. I believe they're in on Trey Smith because of some of the conversations around the issues with the offensive line. I believe this would cause the Bears to drastically change their offseason plans. But let's start there. Do you think that even if the Chiefs could hold on to Trey Smith, that the Bears could pry him away? The Bears have the cap space to offer him probably the most amount of money that he can get.
I think what it gets down to is what is you want to spend the money, but you want to be fiscally responsible. And, do you get into a bidding war? So what is the cap number that you're willing to spend? You don't want to eat up that cap. Like, what do we have, like $80 million in the cap or something like that?
Got $80 million in the cap. I figure you're probably looking at about 22 to 25 to Trey Smith if you get him.
Right. So you're averaging, for anybody you bring in of a high caliber, you're averaging about dang near $20 million on the high end. Maybe the budget is 10.
Yeah.
So look. Where's my people movers? Like, he was part of my plan of how to quickly rebuild this line in 1 year, right? If you go and get him and then we draft Kelvin Banks Jr., I think we have to re-sign Tevin.
With the little shake, you should throw like a bear roar behind that.
I have a bear roar. I have that.
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
The idea is to still draft linemen, though. And how well are they going to scout their guys? So if you go and get Trey Smith, if he doesn't sign, then fine. Now it means Tevin. You're talking about Drew Dahlman, right?
I'm still not in on Tevin in that situation.
No.
But yeah.
Either way,
yeah.
Okay. So now the thing is,
I think Dahlman.
Let's say
you're
Tevin's out of
definitely
there. Now you got no Trey Smith. So now you're just signing Dahlman.
Well, I think you go Mekhi Becton. I think more than likely.
Why would he leave? Unless it's just the money.
Listen, that's the question I'm asking about a lot of people.
Why would he leave?
Like when it comes down to it, and that's kind of why I wanted to start it that way, right? Like if the Chiefs can find a way to pay Trey Smith, does that take him off of the market?
Yeah, well,
I think that's the real question, because they don't want to get rid of him. You found a gem in the 6th round.
Yeah. Well,
those are the guys you don't want to get rid of.
Well, yeah. I mean, it would be nice for us to finally get some gems in general in the draft, but I'm just saying. So New Harbor's like Philly can't afford them.
That's the conversation with everybody.
Yeah, I mean, if it gets to a point where you're not in the bidding war and it doesn't kill you, I mean. Then again, I mean, you go get your guy. If he's the guy, he's the guy. If he's the number one talent and he is that as advertised as he is, then I'm fine with it but we still got to draft linemen. We still got to make some other moves on our offensive line and defensive line.
Yeah.
So we would be able to, contend a little bit quicker if you got a high caliber guard in Trey Smith. But like you're saying, if they don't prime away, that's going to be interesting. I feel like that's a big piece.
It's going to change. It's going to change a lot in the offseason. Drew, what you got?
I'm with you. If Kelsey does retire, then it's going to free up all that money, and they're not going to let him go, which is definitely changes our whole perspective on everything. Then we're going back to what I said weeks ago. That means we're going to have 3 rookie linemen because you're going to get maybe a center, maybe. That means you got 2 holes on the left, 1 on the right. So
I would hope.
So Smith ruins all the plans, in my opinion, if he stays in Kansas City.
But funny thing is, we could sit there all this talk about Trey Smith, and it's all rumors, and then it doesn't happen. So the whole fan base is all up in arms, like we thought we were getting Trey Smith, and Poles and company and Ben Johnson's like, we could do something else. I like this guy. Scout this guy in New Zealand.
That's the scary
out of
part.
nowhere.
You know what I mean? That's the scary part. That's the part where you do get a little worried about him drafting offensive linemen in the upcoming draft, right? Because the question mark on them is, well, you've drafted all of these guys and you've decided to take guys later up to this point. But the guys that you've drafted, we do have question marks on. The guys that you've, gone out there and put in a position of need haven't panned out in that way. And there's been more guys on the defensive side than there has on the offensive side.
Yeah, I'm not going to go that route, only because for Darnell Wright, technically, even with Braxton Jones, he was still a 5th-round pick. And so to be a marginal starter, even fifth gives him enough respect that they claim. The eye test, he don't pass to me, but they give him enough respect.
Yeah, he's not good. It don't matter. He's not good.
I would prefer not to start a bunch of rookie, linemen in general. But if we get – I feel like it feels like we are poised to get – we have to sign one of these offensive linemen. But I'd rather get the best guy if we can. I just hope that it doesn't end up breaking us. It's kind of like the Saquon thing. They were in the running for Saquon, supposedly. Yeah. The price was – they stopped at a certain cap number. I mean, it got to 16. I think they were offering like 8 or 9 or something like that, and then they got out of it. So, but Philly got their guy, but it went with, building that line. So –
well, and listen, that's the way – I saw a tweet. I don't know if I could pull this up here. I saw a tweet where it kind of talked about the Bears' hits and misses. And let me see. I don't know if I bookmarked that or not. I don't know if I would agree with this, but it said kind of that the Bears have hit on a 91% rate behind the and the only team behind them is the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
But the difference with the Eagles is
better coaching.
Well, better coaching has been a major part of it. But the biggest difference with the Eagles has been, I wonder if I screenshotted that, has been that they've done it with the line. They've done it drafting the line. They've done it drafting defensive lineman, offensive lineman. They've gone out and got Jalen Carter. You drafted most of that offensive line that's in place there. Like,
right.
That's kind of the conversation that you want the Bears to finally – yeah, here it is. It said – this is from NFL Notification. It said the Bears have the highest hit rate of starters in the first 2 rounds of the NFL draft at 91%. The Eagles are in second place. They take Justin Fields out of it, even though Justin Fields was a starter. Yeah. Tevin Jenkins, Cole Kmet, Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker, Darnell Wright, Javon Dexter Sr., Tyreek Stevenson, Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze.
Well, I think 3 of those aren't.
This is just Bears. This is not polls. This is just Bears.
Well, it's about polls.
But I think the difference with this is, even with that hit rate over the last few years, just like with Philly.
Yeah.
How many of those guys are all pro guys?
None of them. Well,
that's the biggest difference.
One of them
you know what I mean?
Jalen
Johnson is a Pro Bowl
guys, but polls that he drafted, none of them so far are Pro Bowl type guys.
And that's the biggest difference, right? Like to me, you look at what Philly has done and how they built it. Not only have they done it through the trench, not only have they gone about it through the offensive and defensive lines, but they're all massive hits. They're not just good guys. We got a lot of good guys on this team.
But the thing is,
got a lot of solid players on this team.
It's hard. Well, first of all, it's not fair to compare Chicago to Philly. Howie Roseman's been there for years. He's rebuilt this squad. Like, this is Poles' 3rd year, 4th year, where Roseman's been there for a while. So he's already entrenched himself. He's been scouted. He's built up his program to a point. And so the Bears at this iteration is still trying to build. Now we got a new head coach. Like, he's already been his second head coach, where Roseman and them, they've won 3 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
So, like, he's able to, plant roots.
But even with that being said, there are guys in their first year that are all pro level players.
That's true.
Jalen Carter's in year 2 of this, and already you can see, this dude's an all pro.
You can't go to Pro Bowl if your freaking coordinator's not showing you how to freaking watch
all
tape.
All pro and Pro Bowl are very different.
I'm just saying, but you're not a good.
But you got to think about it this way too. That Carter was good, but he was only great this year. Last year he was okay.
For a rookie, he was great.
He was okay last year.
For a rookie, he was great.
And you got to look at Hurts, 2nd-round pick. You got to look at that guy Braun. They picked him off the practice squad of somebody else. They picked up a couple key people that they didn't draft that took him over the top.
And you got the most out of them.
Right. But you are definitely 100% right. Philly has picked the right O and defensive lineman, which makes vastly difference in their success rate.
But it's also just continuity. Like, hopefully this is year 1 of continuity. Ben Johnson, and we don't know what he's going to be looking for in linemen, so he might have more input. in terms of who they're drafting, they might get some gems if the O-line coaches are better. We don't know if this new regime comes in and makes Karan a better offensive lineman.
Yeah.
And maybe even, dare I say, Braxton Jones actually is a better left tackle because of coaching. Oh. we don't know. We're sitting there and have all this discussion. We got to get all these guys. And they may say, there's some tweaks here, scheme things here.
Yeah.
We don't know that.
I do like the Dennis Allen said, this is about, yes, you want to add, and you're always looking to add, and you're always looking to add more pieces. But I do like that he talked about how you have to go out and still develop those guys. How you have to go out and still
coach them and make
them
better,
up and move them in the and put them in positions to be successful.
Yeah.
Hey, just to help Drew, hit that slider the other direction.
What happened?
I see him changing the cameras, but the cameras ain't changing.
I did.
Yeah, I push him all the way up.
What happened? What do you do?
No, I think he got the slider on the wrong side.
Oh.
So it's not moving.
Oh, he tried to punch it?
It's on B. I see you punching
I don't know why it
but it's
that.
not moving.
Yeah, I'm used to it.
All right, don't worry.
Oh, because the B is on one
the
instead
bottom.
of two.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There you go.
It's
yeah,
weird.
you got to move the slider to that side. That's how.
It's not the
No,
slider.
something
it's
flipped.
the second row. It's the second row on
instead
on
of
the
it
cameras.
flipped.
So
I
it's
got
like the slider. Sliders are all the way up.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
They're behind the scenes
We got it.
production. It's all good. We made it work.
We learned it.
We making it work,
We
baby.
learned it. We
I'm gonna
learned
make it
it.
do what it do, baby.
Yeah, we don't know if they actually might benefit from a better coaching staff in general.
Yeah.
And then on top, and I'm not, look, I would prefer the easiest thing is to not overspend for players if we have to. When you go to free agency, you're paying for your mistakes in the draft because you couldn't draft well. It's nice to add a cherry on top like what Philly did. They drafted well, and then they sign a bell cow and Saquon to be the cherry on top of building a good squad. We want to get to that point. So, look, if we can get Trey and it doesn't kill us, cool. If we whiff and their plans are, okay, we got to draft and we might, you still got to, like I said, get Dahlman as a bridge center. And then we get Jake Majors.
Dahlman's not a bridge. Dahlman's 26 years old.
All right, well, then you still draft another
You
center.
signed Dahlman. You
still draft another – you still have to draft depth. We don't have anybody.
Can I interest
Yeah,
you
but you're
in a
not drafting.
possibility?
You're not drafting depth in the second round. You're drafting starters in the second.
Yeah, but how do you know that guy – like the whole we talk about all the time. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, though, because this is still – we still have good talent. What if the difference is the strength and conditioning coach that put a little girth on the lower levels that you always that you always complain about for our left our tackle and Karam?
Listen.
Now they turn into something different because they got tree trunks for legs now.
You can't add that much. Like
You
there's
maybe
not
5,
much.
10,
you know what I
5,
mean?
10 pounds,
You can't add that much.
You can hey. There's we're not going to get into specifics,
But
it's some races out there.
His backside.
It's some races, nationalities out there that have formed certain lower trunks that they're not designed for.
Well,
if you get my drift. So you can make someone.
I know where you're going with that, Drew. I'm not gonna lie to you a little bit. Hey, you know
It's
what?
getting weird.
I'm not comfortable. I'm throwing the flag. I don't know where he was going with that.
Think about it.
Traffic, he was like, whoa.
Yeah, that was nuts.
I'm saying it's some people in the gym that are certain persuasions.
Oh, Baki, be quiet.
that are now built like other nationalities.
I'm saying you got to get starters, but you also, just because you get 5 good starters, what happens if one of them goes down? We have no. How many good linemen do we have on this squad right now?
What does that have to do with what he just said?
No, he's saying I'm talking about depth. He needs starters, then worry about depth. I'm
You
saying
gotta
I want
at least
all of
read
them.
the comments so
I
people
did.
know where you're going.
I said, Baki, be quiet. Okay,
And nobody knows
Joel
what
and
you-
his depth lord. Let's find starters and worry about depth. Shout out to my boy Baki. All I'm saying is,
what?
I would like to get my people movers and then also build up depth behind that. So I am more focused. I would like us to be more focused on O-line in the draft, as well as, of course, a little bit of the D-line. But if we sign offensive linemen in the offseason, which would be great, but we still got to draft guys.
Yeah.
That's all.
Well, I mean, I think here's my thing. The conversation on Trey Smith, if he's able to come or not, would be, does that put you in a position where you kind of have to where you have to maybe go in a different direction in the first round, where you have to have a more of a conversation about.
I don't think it changes.
Well, I think it changes because for me, right, if I get Trey Smith and I get Drew Dahlman, I'm probably trying to find the best defensive pass rusher in the first.
So
round.
you would rather not still replace and go for Kelvin Banks or Will Campbell?
Yeah, if I've got Trey Smith and Drew Dolman, I'm trying to get Mason Graham. I'm trying to get Abdul Carter. I'm trying to get a proven pass rusher. I'm trying to get a dog at the top. I'm looking for that answer as well in the offseason. Now, I think it changes that because now you have to have the conversation on, okay, are you willing to draft a guard at 10? Is Quentin Nelson in this draft?
Ooh,
I love Will Campbell. I love Will Campbell. I love his game. I think that he does a great job when it comes to aggression and poise and technique. Yeah. But he probably will end up getting moved too because of people's perception. I think he probably ends up getting moved to guard in the NFL. Mm-hmm. If that is the case, are you okay drafting a guard at 10?
Yeah. That's the drafting offensive linemen is
not
ugly.
The same.
It's not sexy.
No,
but
it's not about being sexy.
It's
you
not
draft
the sexy
tackles in the first round.
You draft. Quentin Nelson went 5 or 7.
But he's Hall of Fame.
Quentin Nelson.
He's a dog. He's been day one starter,
and he's really the only name that you can say as a guard that has gone that high in the draft. Quentin Nelson was 3, by the way.
Was he 3?
I think he was 3.
I felt like he was more like 5.
I feel like this camera's been on me for a long time.
Yeah.
Dude,
I'm telling you, that slider on the side, slide it down to B.
You know what I'm talking about. It's already on there.
It's all good.
Yeah.
It's not. He done flipped it. Put it back. Whatever you just did. No, the whole point is like. We're not sure where their scouting is. If it's Joe Alt last year was the clear number 1 offensive lineman, right? Number 1 off the board.
Yes. What is Joe Alt?
Where's Quentin Nelson to Joe Alt?
Not the same.
Okay, so Quentin Nelson is just
here's the thing, especially money wise.
Yeah,
like a tackle, you are going to pay much more money than you're going to pay a guard.
I understand that.
You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying. The value of the player. Now, if Will Campbell turns into Quentin Nelson, we're great. Yeah. He's a tone setter on your offensive line. Dare I say he could be a leader on your offensive line.
I think that either way, offensive line is very important, just as much as getting a center. I understand that they want to pay left tackles, but you're only as strong as your weakest link. So I'm fine if we take a guard. I'm fine if it's a tackle or a guard, as long as my offensive line is addressed finally. Like, I want special talent on that line. So if that means, first of all, if you're drafted that high, that means you are one of the highest rated players in coming out of college. So if he's got the grade and he's worth it, then fine. My thing is, so we take Abdul Carter. First of all, he's not probably following.
He's not falling that far.
And Mason Graham probably isn't following us neither.
I would move up for Mason Graham if you get Trey Smith or Drew Dolman. Drew Dolman.
Why am I moving up? I need all my picks.
Because you are getting a game-changing piece on the defensive line side.
Abdul might be down. He might be available a little bit lower because it was that the Giants are trading up to 1. And that will push everybody's need and down a little bit.
Right. Yeah, but then Tennessee's at 2.
Tennessee is moving down. No, they're 3.
The Giants 3?
Cleveland's 2.
Cleveland's 2. Right. So Tennessee would be 3.
So that would change a little bit. So it's potential for us to – it's potential here because we already talking potential. It's potential for him to drop down a few picks and for actually us to go up just those 2 to potentially get him. Can I interest you in that?
Going from 10 to 3 is a long way.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of money slide. That's like $9 million down to dang near 5.
I said 10 to 5. I was like, because I think either way, right? Abdul Carter probably goes 3. To me, that means Mason Graham is probably around 5 or 6. If you're around 5 or 6, I think you can get Mason Graham in that scenario. Mm-hmm. But again, like my thing is, it really is just about your value.
Here we go. I think I got the draft.
You know what I mean? It's really just about your value. Like if you feel that.
There we go. I got to scale.
Oh.
Sorry.
If you feel that you have a Quentin Nelson there, I'm all in on going after the guard. I'm not going to be mad if you tell me that you have the guard at 10 and you feel that he's the number one guy.
So Tennessee's number one. They want to trade down.
Right. So you got
What's
the Giants
the rumor?
you got the Giants trading up to 1.
That's the rumor that
That's the rumor. The Giants are trading
He's saying
up
the
to 1.
Giants would trade up to 1 to go get what? Shador?
No, to get Cam Ward. They like Cam Ward.
That checks out.
So then that drops Abdul. He might go number 2.
So no, he probably won't go number 2
No,
because
probably not.
Myles Garrett is still number 2. Cleveland needs quarterback, and they need.
Yeah, but they might lose Myles Garrett.
They not because Myles wants to be traded. Cleveland has came out and said no, we're not trading you. So it's potential for with that trade, everybody's drops down because you got Cleveland not taking a pass rusher. You got Tennessee. Tennessee might take a quarterback then. Jacksonville might take one. And then you can trade between the Raiders because all the quarterbacks are going. The Raiders need a quarterback. So they might trade. So like I said, so the word is if they do that, the whole outlook has now changed.
I will guarantee you this. Abdul Carter ain't getting past New England.
So the whole
They
point
need
is that
offense though. They need offense too.
He ain't getting past New England. They need everything, and they gonna go with a game-changing piece. He's not getting past New England.
They said Hunter might be going there.
Right, that's the thing.
They need wide receiver help. So
Patriots,
Hunter, you forget about Hunter.
The Patriots they can do whatever they
Hunter's
want.
Top 5.
They got their quarterback. No, I don't know. Either way, we still need linemen really bad. So unless
you need linemen, but I think it's about are you getting? Are you going after a piece that yes is needed, but is the best piece available that high?
I guess
you know what I mean. That's really the big question with it, and we'll see what end up happening with Poles. For me, I even wonder in that scenario if you miss out on a Trey Smith, does that bring Josh Simmons into the conversation? You know what I mean? Where I'm not a fan of it either. I'm not a fan of drafting hurt players. I'm not a fan of drafting the injured guy, but does it bring him into the conversation because you need to upgrade your left tackle? And guess what? The biggest position we complained about all year was left tackle.
You mean when our left tackle was getting sacked with the quarterback?
Yeah. Josh Simmons, the left tackle.
I mean,
the Genty cult in the chat is crazy.
Wait, where is
the Genty cult in the chat is nuts?
Y'all are crazy. Shout out to you know what? By the way, where are we at? We got 264 over there. What?
We have a 200 in the chat. 200.
What about?
I don't know what we got on Twitter. Oh, we over 300 in the chat. 300. Wait a minute, is that a 68 plus 42? Oh, we over 400 in the chat. 400. Had to do some math there when we in the studio. It's a little more separate.
Yeah, a little separate.
DeMarco.
Shout out to Muck the General.
Oh boy, he's here.
Guy, what's going on, man?
He's here.
No, I just want to see. I mean, let's just be smart. If they sign guys, linemen, that's good. If we draft them, cool. That does now. That's fun. We got to pull up the. I made the roster like last year. We got to update that. Actually, I lost it when I did my I got to redo the whole thing. But being able to see where else we need improvement because we could be overlooking some things too. I mean, we definitely need O-line and D-line, but like linebacker. Are we talking secondary? Might be a change or two in the secondary, but at the end of the day. I would like to see what happened.
No more medical red shirts.
Now the thing with Simmons,
it's scary.
Where is
he?
Scary. But where is he in terms of his rehab? People can come back from a knee.
He missed the entire season.
No, I'm saying, but where is he from?
He's ready. If he misses,
he's
ready.
He's missed the entire season, and he's going with an off season and all of that.
Right. So I'm saying is he closer?
He'll be ready by the time the draft and all that gets here.
So what about the combine?
That's what I'm saying.
I believe he's supposed to be going to the combine. I don't know if he's going to do something at the combine, but he's supposed to be going, I believe.
It's just hard to say. Block Jordan. Genty or nothing. Block him.
My sources say that Ben Johnson's preference is Genty. My source? Me. You know what though? We did have this conversation that Amstel said.
I like Amstel's
can't
comment.
take a lineman to take a lineman. Best player available. Period.
I was going to say that before when Drew wanted to interject because that's what my next train of thought was. We don't know where the scouting is or who is the best player. I agree. I'm not trying to be just blind. I'm not saying you're right. If Will Campbell, because I've seen if Will Campbell's like he could be the next Skoronski. Okay, no, we don't want that. If Mason Graham is head above shoulders than the lineman, then fine. Because if we get the same kind of quality in the second round, I'm fine with that too. But as long as we're signing blue chip. If we consider Trey Smith a blue chip player, and we put him on the line, day one starter, we're good. If Drew Dahlman, I don't know, is he considered really a top center, or he's just the best center that's out?
I would say Drew Dahlman is probably a top.
He's a top 10 center in the game?
He's probably 10 if you say top 10.
I can live with 10. So, the idea is that I like where you're going, that we could possibly have flexibility to take a dominant defensive player if they fall to 10.
Yeah.
Well, I'm also not mad if we end up getting a left tackle.
Would you be willing to trade? Let's say, because you best player available.
Trade down?
Best player available is something at 10 that we don't need. Are we willing to trade down, or are we going for a stretch just to fill a need?
I think here's the thing, and I said this a little bit this morning, but I don't know how well it came through over the cell phone. The Genty conversation is fine unless an elite lineman goes after him. And it's kind of like the Tory Taylor conversation to me, where it's not apples to apples. I'm not saying that it's apples to apples, but for me, I was like, if one player is better than Tory Taylor, like if there's one positional player that is good after Tory Taylor, you miss because you took a punter.
Right.
And Bucky Irving went the next pick later, and it's amazing and all of that, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
If you take Genty.
Block Jordan.
If you take Genty and Josh Simmons is a premier left tackle of the future,
you're going to look like a moron. Yeah.
You missed. If you take Genty and there's a defensive lineman after that looks like that guy, you missed. Because realistically speaking, we can sit here and be all excited about all these players. They're scouting. They've been scouting all season. They've been watching these guys all season.
Also,
you know what you need. You know you need offensive linemen. You know you need defensive linemen. You know you need to get the trenches right before you go to these positional pieces.
Yeah.
You need to know that there's not a tackle or a guard or a nose guard or a defensive end that will go after Ashton Genty in that first round that will prove to be an elite player in the NFL.
Plus,
because with that situation, that is, and again, it's not apples to apples with the punter, but, and I love this. Shay brought this up on the Chicago Bears podcast today. Would you say that the Lions missed by taking Laporta and Gibbs overtaking Jalen Carter?
I don't know. I think it depends on the fit for your squad, but
they need
They
defensive
got Gibbs. They
need
dudes,
defensive interior presence.
No, all their guys got hurt.
Yeah, but they never had the middle of the line. Can you imagine Aiden Hutchinson and Jalen Carter?
Yeah, well, clearly, look, people scouted for whatever reasons they had. Okay, and what I was going to say too is that when the combine's coming up, we don't know what. There's going to be a riser out of nowhere. There might be a couple of guys.
That's my hope.
I
need a quarterback to Mitch Trubisky this thing.
We definitely want drop that down. What's the Colts dude? We need an Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
That just skyrockets and gets picked like fourth. Like come mess.
Anybody in this draft can just hit the ceiling for no reason.
Yeah, we need
because that's a skill that's important in the NFL.
Yeah. No, but that
reminds me of that guy we took because he could jump out the pool.
That's exactly what Anthony Richardson is.
Who was the pool jumper? Dang, what was his name?
Was it Mario? Wasn't it Mario?
No. It was like just something like
Jamiroquai? No, but
what was his name? He was wasn't he a 4th or 5th round pick that jumped out the pool?
Yeah, I know. He was high. He wasn't 4th or 5th round. He went high. He was like a 2nd rounder.
Who was the pool jumper?
I don't remember his name.
Breeze Nation knows.
But no, like I think my thing with all of that, right? What helps your future more with going back to kind of we know the trenches is going to help more than a running back or a premier wide receiver. I think that's the thing where when you talk about having to pivot some of those offseason plans. Your pivot should still be in the trenches to me.
Right. This is my thing. The example of
Anthony Melton.
No, it wasn't Anthony Melton. It was somebody else. Nah, it wasn't him. Yeah.
I think it was Anthony Melton.
It wasn't him. No, I know.
You said Henry.
It wasn't Henry Melton.
No,
Henry Melton was a dog.
No, it was somebody. I swear he started with like a J name. The thing is, the example of what the 49ers have done, that wasn't Henry Melton. It was somebody else.
Henry Melton was a dog.
I know. That's what I said. That's what
No,
they said
people
the chat
keep
was
saying Henry Melton. It wasn't him.
Yeah.
It was somebody else, like just something.
He said
like
Gilbert. Jordan says it was Gilbert something.
This is the thing. The example of what the 49ers have built has shown you that even with as elite as
Jerron Gilbert.
yes.
Jerron Gilbert.
Yeah, with a J. I told you it was a J. Yes.
Jerron Gilbert.
Yes, thank you. Shout out to Dante Purify. Even with Christian McCaffrey, as elite as he was, he got hurt. But what did they do? Was it Jordan Morgan? What's his name? No, Morgan. What was the second?
Morgan.
The running back.
The
Jordan
running back, Morgan.
Third, fourth round guy.
Yeah.
Gorindo. They
Also went after Torrey Taylor.
right. But the point is that they've built a system where if the guys don't get hurt, it's almost like Pro Bowl running backs is coming in. They're turning out 100-yard games, 50-yard receptions. Who are the other guys? The other guys that left and went to the Dolphins. They had like 2 running backs with them. Like they just couldn't keep none of their guys healthy.
Yeah.
But that scheme, like you can churn out running backs if you build the right line and build the right scheme. That's what I'm hoping we do here.
And that's the thing. Like I can absolutely live. Somebody, I didn't see who said it, but they said, well, what if he turns into LaDainian Tomlinson?
Who?
So talking about Genty.
Man,
It's like, I love LaDainian. Great player. Y'all know, one of the 5 I'd pay. How many rings he got? How many rings he got?
I think you got to build.
When you
the
build,
trenches,
when you
gotta
talk about
build it
building
right.
teams, you talk about building trenches. You talk about
Yeah.
That's what's important to me right now.
Yeah.
I can find great running backs. I'm excited about running. I guarantee you Chicago can find a running back.
I like Brandon Green's comment. He says, you wear out Genty in 2 years and then the tread is gone. A good lineman will be here for 6+ years. Genty is a nice Porsche, but we need a moving truck.
I keep telling Muzz, I get the Saquon season this year, but the last 3 years of Saquon have not been Saquon Barkley.
I'm fine with the Ohio State running back in the later round. Just make sure that
Well,
this
of course,
line
Sean Junkins probably a 2nd-round pick.
That's what I said in the 2nd round.
That's not a later round. That's still day one.
Is that the 1st round or later?
Second,
That's
it's
day one.
So is the
round-
1st
second
round or is it later? It's the 2nd day, ain't it?
No.
No.
2nd day? Yeah, 2nd round's the next
round.
day. 1st round's
Oh,
on
yeah,
Monday.
2nd round
Yeah,
is
You see the GM hat, don't you? You gotta put the GM hat on.
Put it on.
Well, he's a Hall of Famer. I
Yeah.
get you.
Who?
Talking about LT. Yeah,
That's
he's-
cool.
He's amazing. I told you. He's one of the
He-
5.
A lot of 13-3
Hey.
seasons and no
You know what I mean?
AFC
Like-
Conference champion.
Right, he'll get you in the playoffs. He'll get you in the playoffs.
Hey, he will run you straight to the playoffs.
Diamond Factory Collective. He said, "With a breeze." I'm sorry.
What
with
up,
a super chat.
fellas? If the line decides to go through free agency, what would your if the line is decided through free agency, what would your next move be?
Now we could do what he's talking about. You could draft a defensive end.
Oh
with
yeah,
10.
listen. If you figure out the offensive line mostly through free agency, because here's my thing: if I've got Darnell Wright, I've got we could have just done this topic. If I've got Darnell,
right. We've been on this the whole.
if I've got
Actually, I'm
Darnell,
fine with it. The
hey,
rest of
we
them ain't
can keep it
nothing
going. We had nothing else for the end of this. Keep this going. If I've got Darnell Wright, I've got
What? Trey
Smith and
Dahlman.
Drew Dahlman.
Who's our left guard? then?
I've got some answers.
One in the
there.
draft.
I mean,
I'll take one in the draft.
yeah, you're probably talking about taking one in the draft. You're probably at that point, right? I'll even be down with the conversation of you took 3 of them. We signed the center and the right guard.
Mm-hmm.
We drafted the left guard. I'm fine with that conversation there because now it's like, okay, you're getting young pieces in there for the longevity of this offensive line. If you draft a Will Campbell at that point, I'm willing to get on board with you there. For me, I would go to the other side. Whatever you do in free agency, I would do the inverse in the draft, and that would be my focus. If in free agency, right, let's say we miss out on a Trey Smith, I would then say still sign Dahlman, try and shift your focus to get one of those premier pass rushers that's already in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Try and sign one of those guys, Josh Sweat. Try and
Sweat.
sign one of the Sweat connection. You know what I mean? Try and sign one of those guys who is, that edge rusher that's elite, that's going to be on the market. There's some solid names out there as well.
Mm-hmm.
If that is the case, then I would be looking in the draft and saying, well, if I signed him, that means now I'm going with the guard.
You know what's funny?
I think you gotta kind of let free agency play out to see the direction you want to go in the draft.
What's funny is every time, I know how I would like to do things, and everything I want to do, they never do. like I'd rather have got a Hall, or I would have rather got Harbaugh. I wanted Saquon, like all the things I would have liked us to do.
Yeah.
It's like,
I'm good on the Saquon one, but yeah.
No, I'm just saying, but in general, like we want this guy, and then we might get disappointed where it's like, who's this unknown dude?
Yeah. Well, I think the problem the Bears have had isn't that they've gone with unknown guys. I think the problem the Bears have had is that they've gone with the guy who is the safer guy.
That's true.
Right? We were scared to go get Jalen Carter. We didn't know what Jared Verse
somebody died.
We didn't know what Jared Verse was going to be.
No, they didn't.
I mean,
No, they didn't.
No, they just didn't do it.
No, they didn't. Verse. We all thought he was going to be something.
Boys,
Yeah.
half the league let that boy fall.
Exactly. That's what I said.
Jared Verse didn't come off the board till what, 18?
16, 17, something.
Jared Verse, the first defensive player taken off the board.
Right.
Half the league was like,
Dallas
we're
Turner
good.
went first. Dallas Turner went to.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it was Dallas Turner.
No, but the point is that they overlooked him. They didn't think he was going to be as
Did he go to
good.
Vikings?
They took JJ first.
Then they moved back up.
No.
Dallas Turner went. To
Dallas
the Vikings,
Turner
right?
went to the Vikings, but he didn't go before Jalen Carter. I looked up the Jalen Carter draft too. He didn't go before Rome, JJ, Olufashanu,
Latu was 13.
Latu
He
was
was
15. He was the first one taken off of the board.
Dallas Turner, then Verse.
Yeah, Dallas Turner
I
went
was
17.
close. He went 17.
Verse went 19.
Okay.
But even that, right? Like you didn't look at the defensive player of the year or defensive rookie of the year because you wanted the wide receiver.
I wouldn't have did that.
You know what I mean? I think Rome can be great.
He better.
I think Rome's going to be a heck of a player.
He better.
I know that Jared Verse is the defensive player of the year. So again, it's about making the decisions in the trenches and finally starting to hit on them.
Super chat from Dan Tanner.
Dan Tanner in the building. What up, Windy City Breeze panel? I'll get a dog pass rusher at 10. Honestly, I like the edge from Marshall, a straight dog, great stream. Appreciate you.
Thank you. I mean, that's the thing. As long as we're seeing, we really need the offensive line to be addressed first,
player.
And then if you can add, like you're saying, I mean, hey, it would be great to get another defensive player on that D line. But we've seen that play out before. We just want a good balance of a squad. And there's going to be times where you can't always rely on your defense, because if you keep your defense out because your offense can't score, guess what? They're just going to get hurt. They're going to get wore down. They're going to get tired. Like we've seen that play out again and again. We've had elite defenses and guys get hurt maybe a little too premature.
Yeah.
I mean, think about like Akeem Hicks. He was a great player for us. He was the teeth of that 2018 defense.
Yeah.
And once he went down, I mean, Khalil Mack was a nice guy after that. He wasn't as dominant as a wrecking ball like he was.
They could focus on him.
Exactly. They were able to take him out the game. So, you got to it'll be nice that we can actually – what Philly did to me was exactly the type of squad I want. You got competent quarterback play. You got a strong running game, and you got a strong defense, and they got a great offensive line. That team was healthy going into the Super Bowl, and they were able to beat the brakes off the Chiefs. And I would like us to have that balance. When you can control the clock, when you're able, not only is it that Caleb can sit there and throw the ball, but the idea that you can run the ball, have time of possession, and you keep your defense fresh. That is how you have, to me, a winning football squad.
Yeah.
That's true, but then at the end of the day, that's Bears football, and we were trying to get away from Bears football because honestly, the Philly is not the new NFL. Philly is kind of a throwback to the old NFL, kind of like how Tampa Bay won that championship, how Baltimore won that championship. They had decent quarterback play, but they had great line play on both sides.
But that's not wrong.
So what? I'm not saying it's wrong, but we all said all these years the Bears need to move into the 21st century. Bears need to move into the 21st century. Now the Philly won with the old school mentality. Now we're like, this is what we need. So it's kind of like both.
I don't know if I'd say it's an old school mentality, because Philly still tried to have a high powered offense. It just was high powered with a special running back like Saquon Barkley.
Right.
I think the high powered offense is important, but the Super Bowl winners over the last 10 years outside of the Chiefs for one season kind of tells you
it's still balanced.
That it is a balance, but it is, listen, at the end of the day, defense still wins championships. When you look at the two teams in the Super Bowl this year, both top defenses. Look at the two teams in the Super Bowl last year, both top defenses. Look at the two teams in the Super Bowl the year before that. It was Philly And it was the Chiefs, both top defenses. Look at
quarterback.
You look at how the Rams end up winning their Super Bowl. Aaron Donald coming through the middle, hitting Joe Burrow right as he's throwing the final pass of the game. By the way, low scoring Super Bowl, 23-20.
Yeah.
Defense won the day there. You look at as you keep going back, and it's not to say you don't need offense. Before that, it's Tom Brady.
What we're doing
was a Super Bowl caliber defense down there. I think that we looked at what the Chiefs did the 1 year and how high-powered all of these teams are, and we said, this is how you have to build teams now. When realistically, how you have to build teams has not changed.
No.
You have to have players who can be high-powered offensively, but if you're not good on the defense, like the Lions had the highest-powered offense in the NFL this year.
And their defense was hurt.
And their defense was banged up.
But you look at the Steelers.
But with the offensive side, I should be able to just outscore you.
Even the Packers with Aaron Rodgers, they had a dominant defense, one of the best defenses, with a talented quarterback, with a pretty good running game. Like, all we're trying to do for Chicago is just get to balance.
Yeah.
You can't do the unbalanced thing. And even when you go back to the 85 Bears squad, they were one of the top offenses because they had a running game, number one tight. They had a great defense, but McMahon did enough to get them over the hump where, he wasn't a Pro Bowl player, but he was, but he wasn't like a Hall of Famer. But the idea is that Chicago somehow got away from that. You got to have a guy that can control, from the line of scrimmage as a quarterback. So we're just finally getting someone that can be competent enough. Look what Rex Grossman did when they were here, right? For like 5 weeks, that man was the NFC champion.
But
of the
even
month.
that, how did Rex do
Great
it?
running game.
Great running game.
Great
defense.
Offensive
line.
Good line. Good line.
You got some Hall of Fame caliber players on that offensive line.
They were long in the tooth. The only one that Olin. You had Tate, Krutz, Miller, Garza.
And I think that's where people miss when I say go after the defense. I think people hear that and say, "Oh, Pat's saying don't go after the offense."
Shut up, kid.
I said, sign basically $200 million worth of players.
Yeah.
On the offensive line.
Yeah,
it's not ignore one. I keep saying this, and I need people to hear it. It's an and off season, not an or. Conjunction, junction. What's your function?
Both.
And but and or. They'll get you pretty far.
Wait a minute.
This is an and off season.
Wait a minute. I got it. Oh. What was that? That question earlier was
how you mistime your own tip.
I didn't.
Right. Here we go.
No, because I saw. Shout out to Eric. He said get Myles Garrett and whatever. I could play nickel corner with the pressure, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
If you sign your question, if you sign and address the offensive line through the free agency, do you now package picks to get Myles Garrett?
I said the same thing.
So because you addressed
to me, here's I guess you were putting a door in. You've been
painting.
You've been putting
today.
a door in.
I was painting doors.
No,
15 of them as a matter.
When I said if you pick up the phone and you resign yourself to say what's it gonna cost to get Myles Garrett, and they say we're not trading Myles Garrett and hang up the phone in your face, okay, my brain is already in well I'm willing to trade picks to go get a dog.
Okay?
Hendrickson.
No.
Hendrickson is not as good as Myles, but still very good rusher.
Well, first off, Trey Hendrickson will cost nowhere near as much as Myles Garrett as far as trade capital. But the conversation for me is if I'm in that mindset, I pick up the phone to see what Michael Parsons is going to cost. Michael Parsons too much? I pick up the phone to call Tennessee or the Giants or whoever it is, or however we got to get there. And I say, "Ayo, what's it gonna cost for me to move up high enough to get Abdul Carter?"
Why are y'all chilling on Grossman? He was here. Grossman, that's part of our history. My point.
You're having a kid moment right now.
Dan 10, I'm sorry. I can't believe my buddy brought up Grossman. Everybody's bringing up Grossman.
We're having a conversation here.
Oh, I'm sorry. You want me to
stay here?
You want me to
lock in here.
Lock in.
Jesus Christ. You had a kid moment right there.
Right there?
Yeah. Hey, kid, bring your medicine next time. I'm like, who's he arguing with? It's like a whole different thing.
Yeah, anyway.
But
I would another shot. I would absolutely, if I'm resigned to I'm willing to trade picks to go get Myles Garrett and one of those guys, I would be like, hey, what's it going to take to get Abdul Carter? I think he might fall to 3. I would be preparing myself on draft day to say, what's it going to take to get Abdul Carter? Because I've addressed so much on the offensive side of the ball. And we keep saying this like you're not hoping that they take trenches in the second round. You're not hoping that they take trenches in the third round. No, I'm saying like how people are talking about it. We're acting like some people are acting like there's only one pick to go get these guys with.
Right.
Like he better hit in the second. He better hit in the third.
He needs to hit all of them.
He ain't hitting the third yet. He better hit somebody in the third.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got to find those gems.
Speaking
and I
of
think
gem,
that's kind of where you got to get.
We got another super chat.
Diamond Factory Collective, shout out to you. He said, what would it take to move back from 10, and how far would you move from 10? P.S. Y'all do a phenomenal job. I have y'all. I hope y'all never stop. We don't plan on stopping. Shout out to Diamond Factory. Sometimes we can't read, though.
What would it take to move back from 10?
Moving back from 10?
We're not. This is too early to do that.
If everybody's gone. If
Yeah,
everybody's gone,
that's
then I'll move back.
But we don't know if the combine's
Will
gonna do.
Campbell's gone, if Kelvin Banks is gone, and Kelvin Banks is kind of he's not sliding, but I would move back to. I think Kevin Banks might go a little lower. If
Dude, Penn State gone.
well, that's Abdul Carter. He's
Right.
probably going to be gone. If Mason Graham is gone,
exactly.
if all of those are gone, and that's
then
kind of
I'm
the conversation that Shay was having today with me about. In that situation, would you take Genty? And that's why I said if there's anybody behind you that is great and on the defensive offensive line, you look crazy.
If you're able to pick, so if you move down, how does it work? You move down to 15.
Second.
I don't know if you're grabbing a second. You
Or
might be
maybe a
grabbing a third. You probably end up with a third pick.
Depending on how far you move down. If you move down
from 10
if you
to
move
15,
down to like 10 outside of the top 20,
you probably pick.
you could pick up a second in that situation.
Maybe a late second. Then.
But the only thing, you're moving outside the top 20. Only thing I would think if in that conversation is you see one of those left tackles or late round guys, or Josh Simmons, who you're like, no, we're gonna take a chance on him because we can get him late. Yeah. I think I'm taking a big swing. Yeah. I'm swinging for the fences. If he missed, we in trouble. But also, I got second round pick. I got 2 second round picks. I got third round picks, right? Like I think that's kind of in the situation where I could see them doing that.
So are we planning to do our mock draft on Thursday?
I believe Thursday will be our
We're
first
gonna do
mock.
our first
Nice
mock.
mock. Big mock guy.
Yeah.
I believe I just kicked the whole computer. I forgot it was down there. Thursday will be our first mock draft, so tap in with us as we mock your socks off. Make sure
It'll mock your socks off.
Make sure you're rocking with us then, man. That'll be a heck of a lot of fun. We got over 300 in it. We did that. Hold on, 300, 324, and then on the Twitter. Oh, another 200. We over 500 in the chat. 500. Hey man, let's do one of the other topics. We can say the other one. Me and Jordan JC can do the other one on tomorrow's morning breeze. He may do it solo, depending on if how that internet holds out. We'll see.
Which one you want to do?
Let's do the All-Star game. Let's finish it out with the All-Star game talk because
that's gonna be easy.
I do want to, and I appreciate you guys for tuning in, showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. The only reason I do this is because this is only valid today. We will not care tomorrow. We barely cared yesterday. You know what I mean?
I barely cared over the weekend.
Hey, that's what I mean, dog.
I didn't even watch it.
There was a lot of All-Star games this weekend.
I watched the dunk contest.
And I'll tell you this right now. The NHL All-Star game carried. The NBA, bro,
Nuba. As my dad would say.
You want to know what's tough? I think they put a format together that forces them to compete, and they competed.
Mm-hmm. That's all you wanted.
Because it forces you to like, oh, we might lose this to some rookies or something like that, right? But I truly feel that unless you have this, I'm trying to find the right way to say it.
Just get it out, man.
I'm trying to find the right way to say it because it could get taken the wrong way as like I hate all the All-Star games, which I want the All-Star games to come back. Unless you get to a point where the next generation of players takes the All-Star game seriously like we saw last night, it won't matter. Mm-hmm. And if they do, I almost think you need to go back to the format that you used to have anyway. That's the part that to me is tough.
I just think with Adam Silver, the fact that he's throwing ideas out of how to fix
This
the
was a
NBA.
Stephen Curry idea.
No, but I'm just saying, but he's letting all this stuff happen where it's like, let's change this and shorten the games. It's like he's grasping straws to figure out how to get these guys motivated to play. And, us growing up kind of in the golden era of the NBA,
It feels like it now.
it's hard for me to sit there and I've seen the best. We've witnessed the best, whether it's the dunk contest, the All-Star games, the finals. We've seen all of it, and it carried well into the 2000s. It's like this last group, the last few years. It's just went downhill, and until we can get some guys to take it that serious, just not taking it for granted, these guys it's an entitlement that's just it's crazy. They're making all the money that the other guys set. They got for these guys.
Yeah.
So to sit there and All-Star game, we just want to see some competition. Trying to get this. It's just it was no motivating factor for me because none of these guys. A lot of them, it's like, who do you really rock with that you want to see? I play my fantasy sports teams, right? And every day somebody's injured. I can't even set a lineup to save my life because game time, injured, load management, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like you used to have one or two guys that were out. It's like I could have 5 or 6 dudes that don't play. That's just on my team. Drew, how many guys you have on your squad that's always out?
Same way. I got about 4 or 5 guys just rotated out
It's
each week.
It's crazy these guys don't even play. And it's like, oh, we have a solution. Shorten the season.
Well, they never do that because they get
You're
a
going to
nice
lose a ton
check
of
on
yeah,
TV
you're losing money.
What
It doesn't.
what happened was when the contracts became guaranteed, only thing you had to do was play enough to get the contract. So, and with the addition of all the summer leagues and the AAU teams, all these people have become friends. So the competitiveness has diminished in the NBA to a point now that everything is a joke.
I can see that. And,
Yeah, but
and
you
the
know
LeBron factor.
So the way to change that is to make it national like it was. USA versus them. That's why the Olympics is so it's such a competitive game.
You had USA versus
I know, but
the world.
I know, but that's the only way you have to. The only way is to keep something like that. Make it incentivized. Make it where the winners get 120 million, and the other person get 1 million. So you got to make it such a vast difference to inspire people to get that bag again, because they only get that bag and play hard when that bag is on the line.
The one thought I had was to get Muggs to play for real, and I think the next generation would do it, but you have to instill it next season. I really think that this could save the All-Star game for the NBA. You play a one-on-one tournament instead of all the dunk contest skills competition, because Chris Paul made that a joke, right?
Oh, he ruined it.
He
got disqualified.
And then they disqualify him. He goes, okay. I don't know if y'all saw the audio where he's like, yeah, so we're gonna have to disqualify you for how you did it. Okay.
I'm just saying,
so, but you play a one-on-one tournament the Saturday before the All-Star game. You want to know what motivates basketball players to play well? Getting cooked.
Yeah.
Let Ant get cooked. That next day, I'm looking for you. Oh, I got to get my get back. You're not finna cook me in front of everybody.
Yeah, but they're all scared
and
to
now
get
I got to
hurt.
get. Well, listen, I think that, here's the thing. These mugs play one-on-one every day. Right. Nobody's scared of getting hurt playing one-on-one. Nobody's scared of getting. I think there is some fear of getting embarrassed.
No.
That's what it is. It's a fear.
But
I think there's a fear of getting embarrassed
because they don't do the dunk contest.
Because think about it.
They
what do you know Brandon Knight for?
He was.
What do you know Brandon Knight for? And by the way, Brandon Knight was going back and forth. Brandon Knight was hooping. What do you know Brandon Knight for?
He died. It was when the soul comes out of your body and flies off.
Well, that was the dunk. That was bad. He shouldn't have been there. Dang, bro, what happened? That was the dunk. That was bad.
The tombstone.
Well, I was talking about right at the All-Star game, Kyrie Irving just destroying him consistently. I think those are the things where
it's not. I got an epiphany.
Uh-oh.
Epiphany.
You put that away.
Yes. The reason why the All-Star game is like that is because and one for all y'all new era that was entertainment. So the All-Star game is turned into NBA and one. So you got to get out of that mindset. It is because they was crossing each other up, throwing in half-court shots, doing all this stuff.
But you wasn't watching and one.
And one was straight entertainment, and that is what that's what all these new people in the NBA grew up on is and one. So that's what they in the NBA doing.
First off, nobody in the NBA right now grew up on and one.
Yes,
Everybody,
yes,
no, they didn't. No, they
and
didn't.
one was in the late 90s, early 2000s.
And one.
And how are these players now? They grew up on that. They
My boy, they are 20.
These dudes are stupid.
They were born in 2000.
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards was born in 2002.
These dudes are all young. My son is 18. He was born on 6.
No, bro.
They watching that.
And by the way, but the and one generation is...
They're gone. They're old now.
I don't agree with that.
Bro,
they are old. Skip to Malou and all those guys. They've played and
what
they're
I'm talking about is the people that's
the
playing
kids
now
that
grew up
hot
watching
sauce.
That.
My boy.
That's
hold on,
our stuff.
Hold on.
Hey, that's my take on it.
And one, you know, and one came.
Let me cook.
You know, and one came out on VHS, right?
Yes.
Most of the players in the NBA, and there is video of them doing this, don't know what a VHS is.
But because it's on YouTube, it's people that's on VHS.
That generation didn't grow up with
They did not grow up with and one.
No, they didn't.
I look at the game, and to me, it's that. But like I said, that's my take. That could be my meaty take.
Drew, they grew up watching Stephen Curry.
Yeah.
They grew up watching Steph.
When they're 4 or 5 years old.
You got to think.
Professor's like 40.
They're old. Professor is your age.
Skip to Malou is gone. Hot sauce.
So he was 20 doing that now. So these people now are like 20-something. They was watching it as kids.
But here's the thing. He was 20 doing that the year most of these players were born.
Yeah, they didn't grow up with
And one came out in, there's the 99 mixtape, there's 2001, and there's like 2005. These mugs were not born.
Dude, hold on a second. Right now, everybody's coming up. Favorite player right now is LeBron James. He is what age?
No, he's 40. He's 40. He has surpassed most 40. NBA careers.
So that's why at 40 years old, they thinking he's great because they was too young to watch Jordan. But guess what happened between Jordan and LeBron?
He's not.
Is that and one mistake stuff?
No, it's
not. That's just how I feel about it.
I understand how you feel.
And one is crazy.
It's okay to feel a certain way.
You can feel that way, but that's wrong.
Like, don't besmirch my
That's wrong. Hey, we got to get out of here on that. But we do want to give a shout out to Team USA All-Star Hockey.
We do?
Yeah, we do.
I didn't see it.
Hey, look.
Hey, they killed Canada.
Hey,
that
was a hockey game, bro.
They smoked
That's
Canada.
the best All-Star game I've seen in a minute. That's the best All-Star game I've seen. They may single-handedly have the greatest All-Star game of all time now. And next year, they're not even going to have one because they're going to let all the players go to the Olympics and build up more animosity. And then they're going to come back the following year. And they're going to do it all again. Bro, listen. See, this is the thing. You gotta tap in on these certain moments. You ain't got to watch hockey all year because I'm not watching the whole NHL. I watch the NHL how Joe watch basketball, right? If it's in front of him. Or the Blackhawks. That's it. The Blackhawks or if it's in front of him. But they booed the national anthem. And, bro, the American players, because they were in Montreal, I think.
Oh, okay.
So Canada booed the national anthem, political tensions, all that stuff going on. The American players was like, you know we got to fight you, right? right. Listen. In a sport where you can fight, they took full advantage. There was 3 fights in 9 seconds, bro. It was so great. They literally were just like, you know we got to whoop you up, right? Bro, it was amazing, bro.
You know you done effed up.
You know you done effed up, bro. It was great.
Shout out to Levante.
Shout out to that.
He said 1-on-1, 2-on-2,
3-on-3 tournaments to 21, 2s and 3s, no fouls. I think you do that on a Saturday.
Yeah, man.
I think if you do that on a Saturday and mugs get cooked, and again, you have to do it with the young generation. LeBron made it okay to not play an All-Star game.
He made it okay just to.
LeBron made it okay to kind of. That's not important.
He undermined the competitive balance of the
league. Last good All-Star game I want to say is probably 2012, and Kobe got his nose broke by D Wade.
No, actually, I'll give you that. Was it 2 years ago that the All-Star game was actually pretty good too?
I don't remember.
But see, they keep trying to do all this weird stuff to the All-Star game. But just play hard. Just play like, just play.
Yeah.
Give us something like that's the whole point. It's the best of the best, not being afraid to cower or not shine when the lights is bright. That's what we grew up on back in the day. Not even just Jordan. It's other cats that shine through when on the biggest stage and not being able to not wilt under the pressure. Like you're scared to get, the whole thing is you got to the NBA. You guys are the top 10 that's on the court at that time in the world doing what you do.
Yeah.
And so have some pride that you want to sit there and that's the whole point of practicing, doing all the things you could do, and you're too scared that you don't get crossed up by what you call it. If you do, you want to get punched in the mouth, come back and do it.
Come
back and go at him.
I think that's
fight back.
That's the point. You know what I memean? That like LeBron made it okay for you to just bow out.
Yeah.
LeBron made it okay for you to say, I don't have to, and then everybody did it. Because you're gonna do. Here's the thing: you're gonna do what the face of the league does.
Yeah.
When Michael Jordan came in there and put up, what he put 50, 55 up in the All-Star game?
A few times.
And then everybody was like, well, we can't just keep letting them put up 55. No,
we're not going to let this dude embarrass me.
You're not going to embarrass me.
Everybody want to be friends.
Kobe came in and he was chasing Mike and he wanted to do all the and he out here and he got the one-on-one and he said, I'm finna let me show you something.
Wait, what do you call him? The banana boat? Somebody was like the banana boat boys. Oh, my man cooked Shannon Sharp. What was the dude on the football player? The DB cooked Shannon Sharp because like you kept defending. This is your GOAT and making excuses for him. Man, have you seen that clip? No, you haven't.
Was it today?
No, it was a couple days ago.
Oh no,
but he cooked Shannon Sharp. It was I think right after it was. I think Shannon Sharp was making excuses for Mahomes and about his legacy or something like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You the same dude that's trying to make excuses for LeBron." And he souffled this cat. It was.
I gotta go check it out.
You have to watch it.
I gotta check it out.
Yes, DeJuan Threats. And I like
Ryan Clark?
Yeah, I like his other question. DeJuan said, "Who was the last superstar to be in a dunk contest?" Superstar.
Dwight.
Yes.
Dwight Howard.
Yeah, and he delivered.
He delivered.
And they kept. And also, I was tired of Nate Robinson winning all those. Like he won maybe one or two
Nate
of
was
them.
cold.
He was good, but
Nate
he
was
didn't
cold.
deserve all of them they were
He
taking.
only won 2.
He won like 3.
I don't think so.
He won
only
3.
Won 2.
He won
Did he win 3?
He won
he
3,
kept
but it wasn't
winning.
in a row.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he just kept going back. He was trying to say the dunk contest.
No, he did. No, but
he ruined it
but,
because he took him so long to get his dunks in sometimes.
Who's my boy? No, what's the name got robbed?
Old boy from Denver.
Oh, well, they not superstars. I was gonna say the last great one was Zach LaVine.
Was Zach? Yeah, but they
Aaron
weren't
Gordon,
superstars.
but they not superstars.
Aaron Gordon.
No,
That's
Dwight
Aaron
Howard
Gordon
is
That's the
probably
best one
last
ever.
one.
Yes.
That's the best one ever.
Vince saved it in 2000. There was some.
There's been some great dunk contests.
No, but we're talking about superstars, the best of the best, being able to shine and be the
Dwight.
flag bearers
Probably
of the
Dwight.
league.
Dwight versus Nate. Because Nate was doing stuff that was crazy and Dwight was doing stuff that was insane.
Vince Carter brought it back. Shout out to Muck Muck. He's saying Vince Carter's years were the last great ones, though.
Nah, that Zach LaVine one was great.
No,
the Zach LaVine, Aaron Gordon one was the best
Bro, that
one.
was 2000, and then, theirs was like 8-10. Well, Zach is like 2010, 2012.
No, Zach's is 2015. Dwight Howard's
That's a big gap.
Dwight Howard's is 2010.
Well, we're saying consistency. It was a lull. You had what's the name brought it back. It was so bad by '96 when Kobe was doing the whole guest meter, mimic meter. Do this dunk.
Yeah.
Ooh, no creativity. It was that bad by '96 and '97, and it was by 2000 when Vince brought it back was awesome. Then in 01, we had some Brent Berry years.
Terrence Ross's was cold. Blake Griffin, 2011.
Blake
Griffin, 2011. Y'all said superstars.
He's a superstar.
Blake
was a
Blake ain't no
superstar.
superstar, bro.
Blake was
Blake
a
a star.
superstar. He was
dog.
2010
Blake a
for a
star.
lot of years. He was 2010
Blake ain't no
for a
superstar.
while.
Blake was a superstar.
That's
dog.
crazy riding right there.
He was a superstar.
crazy work.
Andre Iguodala got robbed against Nate Robinson.
Jay Rich was crazy. Jay Rich's dunk contest
I can't
was
say
crazy.
he was a superstar. But he was
Gerald
talented.
Green was, and then none of these are superstars. I'm just naming the winners here. Jeremy,
John Wall?
this is where it got ugly. Jeremy Evans, Terrence Ross was cold.
I
I
don't
give
even
him
remember
that
what
one.
Jeremy Evans looks like.
I
couldn't pick him out of a lineup.
can't even tell you what Jeremy Evans looks
I
like.
couldn't tell you.
That was a down year.
I don't even know who he
That was
looks
a
like.
down
I
year.
know who Derrick Jones.
Nah,
looked like.
here's a DJ J's was good. When DJ J did it, that was a good one. Obi Toppins was.
I mean,
mad.
it's so bad that
Anthony
we got a
Simons
guy
was
that can
mad.
barely make the league, and he's an NBA TNT character winning the dunk
pretty
contest,
much.
which is
I don't know,
cool.
but his dunks was cold though. I ain't gonna
They
lie.
are
His
cold,
dunks
but
They
my-
cold dunks.
His
They
dunks
cold
was
dunks.
They
cold.
are cold, but the whole point is that it's the best of the best doing that, and
But
it's like
it's not the best of the best. Dunkers not in the NBA.
you might as well not even put NBA players in. Just bring dunkers.
I'm here for that.
Hey, I was there for that.
I'm
said
here for
yes. I said yeah, because it's a guy that does a 720. We still haven't seen that.
There's dunks still
The
out
white
that I've
dude-
seen
the
that's
white dude-
incredible.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
does
yeah.
a 720 that we have not seen in the dunk contest yet.
He did it. He did it with. He did it to
Shout out to Brandon
what's
Green.
your boy
It's
name?
wild. I don't know who that dude looked like. I swear to God.
Gary Payton. Didn't know he could dunk. And
Oh.
he told Gary hold the basketball up.
Oh, okay.
And Gary didn't know he could dunk, and he took it out of Gary's hand, did a 720, and dunked it backwards.
Yes.
Gary's face was priceless.
Yeah.
But hey, man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in to show and love it. That like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Stay tapped in this Thursday. We're gonna do the Makia draft. So mock your socks off. Nice mock. We gotta add that to the soundboard.
Coming fast with a hot and ready.
Nice mock. Oh, there we go. Tap in with us on that. We gonna do a full draft, or you wanna do like first 3 rounds?
First 3.
Yeah, we do first 3 rounds.
We had
First 3.
That's
can
how
do
that's
later.
how that's how we break it down. We do our first 3 rounds,
Yeah.
and then we do our next 3 rounds the next time we do a mock.
No.
Yeah, break it
Nobody
down
care
in
about
sections.
the 4th and 5th. I'm saying once
But we got to do our full mock draft.
Yeah, we'll do that as the more players come
Yeah.
out and who really shows up. You know, after the combine pro days, we're going to probably do at least maybe 3 mock drafts.
More than likely. Probably
Yeah.
get to about 3.0. I don't do the 7.952. I ain't doing all that, bro. I'm not.
Yeah.
Not doing all that. But hey, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. I'm going home to see if I can get a haircut because somebody said Pat got that dad cut going. I'm tired, man. I tried. Hey, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. For the super producer, Joel Holt, Mr. Drew Better. If you knew better, you do better. Say who better? Nobody, bro. It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bed down. One love.
One love.
Peace.
Thank you, Dewan Threats. Appreciate you. Excellent show, fellas. Yeah, All-Star game is.
It was better than it has been, man. I like the dunk contest because dude was good.
Well, yeah, he's good, but you
had
know
me
what's sad?
entertained.
You saw the difference of a professional dude that got in there, killed it, got his dunks done.
Practiced.
Yeah,
Actually
because these
practiced.
other idiots sat. I mean, Modest he didn't even dunk the ball.
Yeah,
he
well-
didn't even make a dunk.
Well, Joe, the rest of them have to play in the NBA.
No, if you're gonna pay me to sit there and show myself on national television, only got a couple weeks to prepare. Man, you prepare for that.
Hey,
Dude, you
That's
been
a lack
dunking
of
your whole life,
professionalism,
though.
man.
Dude, everybody that can be dunking has been dunking a whole life.
well,
I'm saying
that's
you
what I
embarrass
said.
yourself out there.
I said you should have had a dunk that you know you can do as the backup.
Right, but that's a lack of professionalism. My point. You look silly out there. Nobody made a dunk. The other guy from Milwaukee was
Got it in
actually.
the stream.
Oh, fine. I'll let it.